Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I am continuing with my haul videos, and at this point, in this video, I'm just going to be doing books. So it's not going to be particularly long. Now, I am still in Studio B, and this time I'm trying the video without any artificial light at all. So I hope this will be satisfactory. So this is obviously a little golden telltale book, Wild Baby Animals. It looks vintage just from the 1973. So of course we know that's 52 years. So this is cute. I will add it to my collection of kids' books. Then I was happy to come across these books. So I don't know if this was a thing when I was a kid or if it was, 1917. So this would have been something that probably my kids had as opposed to me having it. Anyway, let's take a closer look. So it says non-toxic, baby's first book, wipes clean. You can see that it's stitching that's holding it together, but in every case, excuse me, the stitching has let go top and bottom. However, if a person wanted 8.5 by 6 3/4, if a person wanted to take this apart and use signatures in, a book, it probably would be easy enough to just make it a little narrower so it would work. Very few pages. And I guess it's important, too, that they said non-toxic, because we know how babies like to suck on everything that comes within reach. Now, I will add this to... I did sell a bundle, a bundle, Raggedy Ann bundle. But, of course, some other things have fallen into my lap since then. So I will add this to my Raggedy Ann collection. Richard Scarry's Play Day. 1972. I didn't realize he's been around that long. So Big. 1969. So this is the oldest one. Now these, I'm all about country of origin. These were made in the U.S. And this one is 1972. So they essentially are just, 2 folios. But I like them just for the nostalgia. Okay, I didn't even really look through this. I just know that I like the DK books. And it said fairy tales, so we know we have a fairy tale fetish and a Mother Goose fetish. So 9 1/4 by almost 7 1/2. So I'm so sorry. So this is nice in that there are some smaller illustrations as well. We know that sometimes the downfall with some of the most beautiful children's books is that the illustrations are so large that sometimes, with an individual page, the 12 Dancing Princesses, look at them. The challenge, when you've got pages that are, maybe close to 15 inches tall, is now what? And most of the time, sometimes they're used for making envelopes. Sometimes they're used as collage fodder. And so this is another lovely one. I picked this up because you can't usually go wrong with watercolor or, well, any kind of art books, because the author, the artist author, is always trying to, sorry, is always trying to illustrate whatever it is they're teaching. There will be a number of finished, well, that'd be cool to fussy cut or just chop off there and maybe make a side pocket or something. So this one doesn't really seem to have, you know, well, maybe I spoke too soon. Multi-step, something's missing here. Oh, the ink smell of this one is kind of a bit intense. Okay, so let's find a date if we can. You know, nice pastoral scene with those horses. Printed in published in Great Britain, 2001. Printed in Spain. Okay, so so there are studies like this. Okay, how do you do a pig's hoof, hawk? Different styles and profiles of heads. But there are a lot of completed ones that are, you know, just ready to use. Oh, Sandy, look. Now, of course, the art books that do have, okay, maybe, oh, here's a perfect example. Black and white sketch, laying in the background wash, adding, you know, something more, and then finally the finished piece. So depending on how far along the samples are, quite often I have used those as well, or I just let them become part of background fodder or collage fodder, probably on a master board. Oh my goodness, you know, well, I guess those of you who've watched me a while know that it doesn't take much to have me gasping, well, not gasping, but, you know, feeling kind of icky because of smells. And that can apply to tar and, you know, cheap import stuff that has off gases, and ink is just as bad. Okay, this one is almost 13 by, I think I need to be more over here, 13 by 9.25. Yeah, see, if I stay right here, I'm sort of centered. Bucket loads of friends, a look and find book. One morning, Lucas woke up and felt something was missing in his life. He wanted to have a really wonderful friend, and so he decided on such a wonderful day that he would go out and find one. Well, we clearly have some macho men from the beach. Let's see what is going on here. For the Spanish original edition, 2018, printed in Slovakia. Yay, Slovakia. Okay, what's the date? 2018? Looks like. So, again, you know, it's a pretty distinctive style of illustration. I like the fact that the colors are kind of limited, because I think you can do a lot with that when you need a particular combo or just want to create some cohesiveness in whatever you're doing, whether it's a journal, a masterboard, tags, or whatever. And of course, millions of things to fussy cut, and those difficult choices to make. What did I say? 13 inches tall. So another possibility, this is sewn in, so that's always a bonus. So, for instance, on a page like this, 12 and 5/8, let's say, or 12 and a half. So if I take this book apart, I could cut this page in half at 6 1/4 and end up with two, oh, that would be perfect. Four great pages. So, you don't necessarily, well, and I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. You don't necessarily need to use things the way you find them. And I think that's part of the benefit of watching people's haul videos, in that quite often, depending on who the person is, whose channel it is, like Kim Newberg is really good at that. The Fanny Farmer Cookbook. I don't know why I thought this would be so great, but I guess we'll see if it is. It's a thick one. I like to articulate what I think I would do with certain items. Quite often it seems very repetitive to me, to be honest, because we kind of have these go-to things that we create with certain other things. And like I said, Kim is really good at that. 6 1/4 or 6 1/2 by 9 1/2. So nice end papers. So it's got some equivalencies there, a recipe. To correct a curdled or broken hollandaise or mayonnaise sauce. So right off the bat, just the thing that has been keeping you awake. 1983. Illustrated by Lauren Jarrett. Manufactured in the U.S. So when I flipped through this in the thrift store, there were, not as many illustrations as in some books. That's basically all index back there. But the ones that are here, are included, are really sweet and kind of, a good size if you just need a bit of a focal point. See? Types of coffee and French presses and so on. So, it's not marked up or anything. Learning how to can. That's lovely. Can you imagine how nice that would have been if they'd have added color? But then, of course, that brings up the cost if you have like that 4-color press kind of thing. These how-to illustrations are really great too. A person could just sort of cut this out in a box and leave it as is, like turn it into a pocket. And you've just made 4 simple cuts. The wind is really gusting out there. I don't know if you could. Yeast breads. I shouldn't be trying that hard to find illustrations because clearly they're kind of few and far between. Oh, and I forgot to look at the actual shellfish and fish. I forgot to look at the actual cover, but I'll do that in a second. Pots, tools. See, these pages are worth the price of admission. Oh, herbs. Okay. Oh, it's the same as the outside, and it's really in pretty wonderful condition, so that's cool. And in fact, this might be a perfect cover to use. Not that those colors really turn my crank that much, but the spine is a nice size and a person wouldn't have to do, you know, make a new spine. Now these pages are all glued in, so anyway, I'm not going to start taking that apart right here. I said this was going to be quick, but so far I've been dawdling. Okay, my biggest playtime book ever. Another big book. Stories, Rhymes, and Activities. 10.5 by 7.5 by 1 3/4. Sorry. Same kind of cover. You know, the sort of hard, I don't want to say plasticized, but now of course yesterday won't mean anything to you, but yesterday we spent, my husband and I spent the day outside, got a fairly early start when the day is cooler, tried to work on the shady side of the house, and began, I like that the, whatever it is, so far anyway, is intact on one page. So it's not like you start, you know, use a page and then find that the second paragraph or the conclusion or the climax is on some other page that's not even in the journal. So cute illustrations, cute border. Looks like they've got a train running through the whole book. You can see they're over 400 pages. And cute line art at the top as well. Anyway, so this is definitely a keeper. Anyway, I started to say, so we were, well, I was picking weeds. And you know, if you're just used to sitting in your studio crafting, it's not too long before that bending over, you begin to feel it in your hamstrings, in your calves, because I didn't realize it was so damn hot. It was almost, well, it was 29, which is, I don't know what that converts to, but that's hot. I was getting a bit lightheaded from that bobbing up and down. And really, I had a water bottle and, you know, just kept getting hydrated and sitting down every so often in some shade. But we painstakingly removed two very mature trees that had been that were essentially dead. I blamed the woodpeckers. And so yeah, really physical, exhausting work. Let's do this one next. Pear's Encyclopedia. This is not that big a book, but it's cute as can be. 8 by 5. Again, a thick, so 2 1/4 inch spine. And really in pretty good shape, except for the numbskull that put that X there in felt pen. So I kind of was looking to see, I really couldn't find a year on this. I didn't look terribly, terribly hard. But it's so appealing because of its size, because of these end papers. Now, it's, okay, so Canada got its maple leaf flag in 1960. Was it 66 or 67? Our centennial was 67. The flag maybe was done the year before. Up until that, we had the Union Jack. So we know that this is obviously older than, you know, the mid-60s. But look at, so pears, I mean, we've all seen the Pears soap ads. Well, current matter is revised. The flags of the empire and flags of other colors or other countries in color. The 41st edition, published in February 1932, introduced a virtually new Pears encyclopedia. For the whole of this world-famous look of reference was revised and re-edited. A larger, 3.5 million have been sold. So it doesn't say. I don't, well, what do I know? I was going to say that I don't think that this is a 1932 edition, but who knows? Prove it otherwise. So, you know, I mean, the font, did they say something about clearer to read? Not quite. The font is, oh my goodness, a 5 maybe. There are illustrations. There are, you know, kind of interesting layouts where things are indented or in little tables or whatever. I think that I bought it mainly because of the size. I'm not sure what all this is back here. Pounds, something, something, and then dollars. Now, if this would have been Pears Ready Reckoner from 1/6 of a penny to 21 shillings. So there, you can figure out very easily that that this was printed in England. So every so often, okay, well, it's too bad they didn't do more illustrations. Poultry, cage birds, etc. And then they talk about birds. How about throwing us a picture of a bird? But I guess the book would have had to be a lot thicker. So there are a few botanical gardening, baby's first year. Wow, they got that done in about 6 pages. So, Student's Compendium, or it's too bad they didn't reproduce a Pears ad on every chapter heading. So, cool. Okay, I have 5 of these. I kind of just picked the ones that I thought might have the best illustrations. In the beginning, this is the Richards Topical Encyclopedia. In the beginning, when I would come across these sets, whether it was the Book of Knowledge or whatever, I felt compelled to, buy every one. But that is, I mean, I'm not running a library here. Although you might think the contrary. Okay. Copyright 1961. Some of these things, though, started in 37. Printed and bound in the U.S. at Kingsport, Tennessee. The paper is a bit slick, but, you know, okay. Doing a Helen Keller journal, there is something that you need. But let's see if I can just, I don't even know. This is the art and biography. So presumably crafts, music, drama composers, and historical leaders. Do they talk about illustrations? No. Anyway, some of these books, and I'm not going to show you every one. This is probably one of those that doesn't have any color in it. But you can see a lot of historical looking, you know, headshots, battle scenes, you know, those pensive people that are just looking like that. You know, like, oh my goodness, what is he thinking? That guy almost, at first glance, I thought that was Einstein, except his hair was combed. The other day, that's what my hair looked like. it's funny, you know, with haircuts, I know exactly when I cut my hair short. It was the very first day of Heart to Heart. So all I have to do is look back at that and I will know. Anyway, you know, with hair that is cut other than, you know, just somebody growing it out long, say without bangs, you know, typically you need maintenance type haircuts to keep the shape and so on. But I just found that I've been using Kevin Murphy's, what do they call it? It's almost like glue. It's a paste of some sort. I won't tell you how old that is, but I was able to reactivate it. And, you know, your hair goes along growing. Haven't cut it since, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you think, I need a haircut yesterday. Well, I'm almost at that point. Oh, I think this one has good illustration. Oh, this one, I looked at it, but I didn't tell you. Leisure time activities. So manual arts, games and sports, fairy tales, fables, stories, and myths. Myths, not myths. So now we have a bit of color. I kind of love looking at flags. And of course, there's no Canadian flag here. Oh, flag. Well, no wonder. Flags of Europe. Flags of Africa. Flags of Asia. Come on. North America. Yeah. We get the Union Jack with that coat of arms. So that's, again, that's an indication of, but you can see that, oh, how to go camping. See, that's what I'd have to read. Anyway, so I phoned, because of course we're going on a holiday. We will have been and gone by the time you see this. But I thought, you know what? I should probably, oh, I'll tell you, it is going to be an Alaskan cruise. Now, as far as dress code or kind of what's expected on the cruise ship and for the conditions, somebody who's been advised my daughter that it's everything from a bathing suit to a puffer jacket and a toque and mitts. So when I talked to Hillary about, oh, should I get a haircut? And she said, well, if you're going to be wearing a toque part of the time, does it really matter? Anyway, then all of a sudden, like I said, oh, I need a haircut. Phoned the salon, and of course, my woman is gone. Not gone permanently. She's on vacation. So there are these nursery rhymes and fables and so on in here. Gulliver's Travels. Oh, this is sort of what I was thinking of. So there is a bit of color injected here and there. So these would be Aesop's Fables, you know, the little short stories with the message. I thought it was kind of interesting the way this kids' content was sort of scattered throughout the book. But yeah, you can see why I picked this one up. Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Snow Queen. Ah, there was an old woman. Look at her. Giving that kid a little beating. A spanking. A love tap. So these are really cute. And they're so tiny that you could include the whole thing and probably not, you know, miss anything. Oh, is that like a word find? I lost it. Answers to puzzles. Why would they put that in the beginning of the book? But just cute, 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 cute. Can you guess these riddles? What insect frequents district schools? I don't know. Why is early grass like a penknife? Plant a sunrise and what will come up? Anyway, yeah. So yesterday we were, anticipation of leaving and the fact that I have completed some projects that were keeping me indoors for weeks on end. We removed some trees, did some weeding, and my body aches, baby, aches. This one I think has a lot of, was this the one with butterflies? Oh, bugs anyway. Butterflies. Now, of course, this, well, I'll check. I'll do some research. I don't know if this, what is this thing called? Richard's Topical Encyclopedia. I've never heard of them before, so, but if somebody bought them out, maybe the copyright flowed to the new owners, so you kind of always have to be cautious. And honestly, I'm so far behind scanning things that are definitely in the public domain or out of copyright that I'm not even sure why I still talk about that when I can't seem to catch up. So that was that. Birds and mammals, clothing, food, building materials, minerals, and metals. I love that. But I thought this one also had stones. I guess a person could use an index once in a while. What happens at a bakery? Well, that would be good to know, even though my parents had one forever and a day. I hope it wasn't just that. Story of hats. Okay, this is around the world, so some of these will be of less interest than others. Oh, I saw that too. I thought that was kind of cool. They're so tiny. They're only about 2 inches tall, so little itty bitty fussy cutting to do. Where our fashions came from. Gentleman's afternoon dress, 1840. Okay, enough. Let me show you this one. I have 2 more. This cover is a bit warped. Children's New Illustrated Encyclopedia. Lovely. This is the 5th edition, 1950, and it was printed in Great Britain. So again, just, very vintagey. Oh, how to do permanent waves. It doesn't say what year that would have been the thing, but obviously before 1950. So just, this was a one-of. That nest one is cool. Horns, beaks, crabs. Does this say? I guess everything is in this one volume. It doesn't give a volume number. So the world's knowledge all fit in this one book, at least for what kids might be interested in. Land of the Stars and Stripes. So at that point, there were 48 states. Fruits of the earth. Now, it seems that when some of these things were printed in Great Britain, they put more emphasis on the colonies and the Commonwealth than perhaps the U.S. Somebody filled out that puzzle. Young Readers Puzzle Corner. Universal Language of Smiles. You know, I guess kind of very forward thinking in the sense that all ethnicities were included. It wasn't just a whole bunch of white faces. What do we have here? Reconstruction, Globe Theater, Shakespeare's time, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and I think this one, I'm definitely going to be using this cover. The Children's Encyclopedia. Now, this says volume 2, but look at this beautiful, what do you call this? A spine. The book itself is in great shape. This is embossed. Corners are, you know, just pretty well awesome. Let's see, is this the same? The Children's New Illustrated Encyclopedia. John Crosland. Education. Well, I guess more than one outfit at the time was printing things for a children's encyclopedia. It will be easy to remove this book block because it's letting go as it is. Reading. Vowel sounds. Oh, I hate these kind of logic puzzles. How did the frogs jump on the tumblers? Oh, always felt very inadequate when I couldn't do them. That's not how this brain works. That's what I've told myself for decades. Sepia colored. Blue. Here are some beautiful butterflies too. Like, what is the use of print including butterflies in a book if you don't give them their color due? Okay, and this one had nursery rhymes too, and poems and so on. Some things seem way beyond what kids should be learning about. Like Napoleon. Oh, this is the one with the gemstones and the rocks and the... Now this... Hard to tell by the end there, but I would assume that if it's this old, 100 minerals, that it would have been sewn in. Look at all those sheep. Okay, Sandy. The fat-tailed sheep with its tail weighing many pounds. A black-faced sheep and her baby lamb. Anyway. So you get the gist of it. Shells. More little kind of, what makes the kettle boil? Cows. Nothing like having your cows rendered in blue. The Great Days of Elizabeth. Trains. Those are cool too. Yuck. Yuck. One, two, buckle my shoe. I had a little nut tree. So this, my lovelies, comes to the end. The vegetable kingdom has been largely drawn upon. Okay. The vegetable kingdom, like the animal kingdom, has been largely drawn upon for coats of arms, and some familiar instances are given on this page, together with 4 actual coat of arms in which plant devices are used. Okay. So sheaves of grain. Garb of grain. I've never heard that. Garb. Fleur-de-lis, we know, is a big kind of important symbol. Cool. Story of the heraldry in pictures. Oh, this is like one of those hidden picture things. Okay, this brings the video to an end. Where does thought come from? Time zones. See, yeah, Dominion of Canada. We weren't yet... Okay. I almost missed this. They're not books, but look what I scored. And I think the possibilities are pretty darn good for turning these into covers. Like, is that not the most beautiful snakes and ladders you've ever seen? I mean, this is awesome. It's obviously 2 covers. And tape. Of course, at this point, I have to remove this because it will just be sticking to things. I love this. How big is it? So if you just count from the black border to the black border, it's 9 7/8 by, well, it would be a hair under 5. So that is lovely. What is this, Parcheesi? Kind of looks like an international version. What do you call these? Windmill? Like a little, well, there's the Sphinx and the pyramids. Gondola. And a rickshaw. And then, of course, the other side is a checkerboard. Steeplechase. Oh, and another one of these. Same illustrations. Nope. But so darn cute. This one is clearly bigger. Yeah, this is maybe more like it. Now because, oh, See, it's been folded this way. Makes a little bulge there, but that also, it would be a heck of a thing to try to, a person would just have to leave this intact, because it would be a heck of a thing to try to make it go this way. So you get the best of both worlds. I don't imagine there's a date on here anywhere. Is that? Oh, I was trying to see if that was in fact writing, but it's not. It's just part of the snow scene. This one, made in Canada by the Canada Games something something. This one is kind of in sad shape, but it does have those horses. And the see, this had a bit of a binding here, so that's why it folds better than that guy. And then what's this one? Another one. Somebody must have really loved their races. Made in Canada by the Canada Games Company, but no date. But the colors. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you don't mind, I would appreciate if you would subscribe, if you would like, give me a thumbs up, and if you would comment. And I would especially like to hear, given that it was kind of a mixed bag of items, if you let me know which was your favorite thrifted item. And if you say the old green snakes and ladders, I'm not going to be surprised whatsoever. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.